Okay, geniuses, here is what actually would have happened in Back to the Future. First, they get the dog into the DeLorean for their time travel test, and he speeds up to 88 miles an hour. Next, he disappears from the present, traveling 1 minute into the future. However, it is important to note that he has traveled through time, not space. So when he reappears, he is not in the parking lot, but in outer space approximately 21,000 miles away. How did that happen, you may ask? Let me explain. You see, when people talk about traveling through time and space, they usually just kind of ignore the space part. The fact is that even when you are standing still, you are still traveling through space at a tremendous speed. You see, not only does the Earth rotate at approximately 733 miles per hour, which would need to be accounted for, but the Earth also orbits the Sun at about 67,000 miles per hour. Not only that, but our solar system orbits the center of the Milky Way galaxy at about 448,000 miles per hour, or maybe 515,000 miles per hour. The internet can't seem to agree on that number, and as if that wasn't enough, the Milky Way itself is traveling through space at something like 1.3 million miles per hour. If you perform a rough calculation that works out to somewhere around 21,000 miles per minute, that we are hurtling through space without any effort on our part. Therefore, if you were able to solve the problem of time travel, but didn't also travel through space at literally greater than astronomical speeds, you would not be a time traveler for very long, unless we are to believe that if you travel through time, you are also magically teleported through vast amounts of space for free. And even if you managed to invent a machine that could send you back in time and travel the needed distance in space, it still doesn't really work, because what you would actually need to do is not just transport yourself back into some kind of archived snapshot of the universe. There is no evidence such duplicate universes exist, and I would argue the evidence would strongly suggest they do not. What you would really need to do is rearrange the entire universe, other than yourself, into the state it was at in the time destination you are trying to travel to. In other words, you are not actually going back in time yourself. You are sending the rest of the universe back in time. Time travel is actually portrayed this way in what is objectively the best Star Trek movie, Galaxy Quest. I also like to imagine this type of thing is how the Q continuum works their magic in Star Trek, but I digress. So while this rearrange the universe method is probably the most plausible in terms of what our understanding of physics allows for, it has the significant drawback of requiring unobtainable things. First is needing an unimaginable amount of energy, and second, it would require having all the information required to know the exact state of every particle in the universe. Then you would need a way to execute the actual effect in a perfectly controlled way so that you didn't actually destroy the universe instead. I mean, how do you beta test something like that? If you scale it down to just the Earth, I mean, even if you're successful, you still throw the Earth out of the sun's orbit and doom everyone. And there's just massive problems at every scale. Well, that's all I have to say about that. So just, make sure to mention in the comments those rare bits of fiction that don't completely ignore physics. And, if you're a physicist, you want to have your say. Just make sure to impress everyone, with your math skills down there. Oh, and since you won't be able to go back in time, to toggle the like button to the liked state, I highly recommend that you do it now while you still can. Thank you.